Hi, my name is Lon Asseltine, and this is how I met Jesus. When I was about 12 years old, our church was hosting a evangelistic meeting with, it was like a 3-day event. After the speaker was done talking, he gave the altar call, and that's where I just felt God was calling me to go ahead and go forward. So I went ahead and went forward, accepted Christ at that time. After 2 or 3 weeks of discipleship classes with the pastor, then I took that step as well with believer's baptism and that outward appearance of doing that as well. Next 15, 16 years, I was still involved in church, doing those things, but I was also doing life a lot of times the way Lon wanted to do life. So because I had moved to where Julie was living, I was in the process of looking for a job, a full-time professional position. And that really struck me as, boy, I need to do that. And so I just basically turned over my job looking to God. And within a week, I was offered a full-time position. And I just knew at that point that it was from God. It had to have been from God. It wasn't from me. And that really just changed my whole life and a lot of the spiritual journeys that I was on and what have you. Stepping forward, I was at steps 1 and 2. I can't. God, you can. We often stop at that point. We don't take that next step. By doing what I did with the job search and praying, that was step 3, and I'm going to let you. And it really struck me that God really cared for me and that He really wanted me to just let Him be, be my life. My life since then is not, I've done things that Lon's wanted to do, but more and more God works with me on saying, okay, Lon, you got step 1 and 2 done, let's take step 3. And the more and more I take those step 3s and just say, okay, God, you can, and I turn it over to God, it's just really cool to see what God does in my life. And a lot of times he gets me to that point of, okay, you got to take that step, Lon. And it's not until I take that step that I begin to see how He wants to move in my life and what have you. Obviously, growing up, John 3:16 was one of my favorite verses, but since that time, Galatians 2:20 had really become a part of my life in that regards. My old self has been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. So I live in this earthly body by trusting in the Son of God, who loved me and gave Himself for me. And so that's how my life is now. I'm in a process, and I'm in a continual process of allowing God to be my life, allowing God to move in my life. And it can be really exciting and fun.